Alright, hello and welcome to Bevo's Tech Pack, episode number 14. I'm Malrant28 and I butchered that intro again. I'm still not good at that. I've really got to work on that. Anyway, so what's today? Today is actually going to be some more applied energistics. I've been putting this off for quite a bit, but I mean really what I have downstairs, it's functional, but it's not going to last me for long. And to be honest, I've already run into the situation where it's not going to work. The main problem I run into is that for AE, it's now a lot easier to make subnets like I had before with no controller. You can have like 8 things strung together that work fine. You add a 9th item to it, and the entire network collapses upon itself and it does nothing. So this works right now. You might notice there is no pipe here. That's because I actually have power coming in from the back of this guy here, from my TNT generators over there. So this is finally off of lava power, which is good because it's if I go to my nether later, you'll get a chance to see. There's a lot of stone there, not so much lava. So I want to try to cut back a little bit on using that for power, because that was not taking a ton of stuff, but it was taking enough that it was a constant drain. And yeah, something needed to be done. So what am I going to do today? We are going to basically tear all of this stuff out and rebuild a slightly more intelligent AE system. To get started with this, the main thing that we're going to be doing is adding in some ME controllers to this. Right now I have 3 of these guys over here. I'm only going to be using 2 because I actually need to use one of them for a separate system. The other system I could actually get away with without needing one if I wanted to use something like, say, Steve's Factory Manager. And you know what? I think I could probably even do it with Ender IO item ducts if I got creative with the filtering and stuff like that. But I really don't want to play with that. I'd rather just have the AE stuff set up because I think it looks much nicer. But essentially, I have to basically take all of this stuff apart and then rebuild it. And what I'm going to be doing, we're going to be getting the controller put in here. We're going to be getting a different / better / different way of automating this generator here for the flux crystals. We're actually going to combine the ability to create the pure crystals in there as well as have a way to automatically turn on and off the crystal growth accelerators without wasting a ton of power, because those do consume power. And they take quite a bit of it. The good news is for that, I can have that on a sub-network, so that I don't need to use any controller space for that, so that's good. Let's see. Oh, and we're also going to be automating creating the processors for this. I shouldn't need anything beyond what's in here. This is mostly probably overkill, to be honest. I have no doubt there's a more efficient way to do it than what I would like to try. But the way this is going to do is we'll be able to see it create each of the steps, each of the bits of the process along the wall, and at the very end it will combine the bits to make a processor, which then gets sent back to the main network. It's pretty neat. It's not worth explaining without being able to show, so I'm going to hold off on that. But for now, what I need to do is I need to tear all this down, and it's not hard work, but I want to make sure I don't lose anything. This cable is precious. It is oh so precious. This stuff, not so much, though. Yeah. So I tell you what, I will be back as soon as I get all this stuff cleared out and ready to go. So to get started with this, it's best to start with the ME controller. And what I'm doing is I'm just positioning it so that it's the center of the room. I kind of think I might like to stick it out a little bit, but it's okay here for now. The way this is set up, if I need to expand this to add more controllers, I'll be able to just put one here in place of the dense cable. And it will be important for me to make sure that I do color these cables once I start getting a bunch of compact wiring and stuff in here. There is a hard limit to the number of connections you can have per cable, so it's really important to make sure that you're maxing out each potential face the most you can. One face of a controller, I believe, is 32 channels it can give you access to. And if you have to use this dense cable, because the regular flux cable here, this can only do 8. So if I were to put a cable off like that, even though this is connected to the controller, which has 32, as soon as I hit this point right here, it bottlenecks down to 8 channels. So it's it's important to make sure that you don't waste any of your available connections. For this, though, what we're going to do, we are actually going to connect power to the top here using a really small little run of cable here, just like so. The reason I'm doing it this way is I still have access to this bundle right here. It still has access to another 31 channels, I believe. I actually don't know if the energy acceptor takes up a channel since it doesn't do anything for data. It might not, so I still might have access to the 32. I'm not worried about it though, but this is going to be my main line to accessing the top of the structure and stuff, so I'll be running all the access terminals and stuff for that, and at most for that I'll need 6. So I have plenty of stuff on this line to expand outward from. Let's go ahead and connect power here. Alright, and here we can see that this is already working quite well because we have a nice Technicolor ME controller here. This is actually, it doesn't look like it now, but if I were to have a third one in here, this would actually change shape a little bit. I can show you what it looks like. I don't plan on using 3 here for now, but just to see what it does. Break that, and then put both of these guys down. If you notice, it does that little connected texture. Well, I don't want to say it's connected texture because it's not, but it changes to make it look like it's linking, which is just freaking awesome. Plus, it's just dim the lights in here, get some. Anyway, so let's take this back up, and that changes, go back the way it was. So it's all good. I'm not worried about this wiring being exposed here because I can actually cover it using the, what are they? Are they called covers? Cable facade. So yeah, AE2 has its own cable facade systems that I could use. So I won't actually be able to tell that there is any sort of wiring here. It's actually really nice. All right. So right here, where this brick is, this is where the magic will happen. What I'm going to do is we are going to go ahead and take these guys out. You're being removed, so are you and you. And I'm going to put the crystal... What? I don't think they work that way. Nope. Oh. Okay, I'm putting the crystal growth accelerators. Let's get up here and do it this way. Huh. I thought it was supposed to have the little circle thing to the top. Okay, so let's try this. Ha. Alright. Alright, so what I have here is the basic rudimentary beginning of a crystal growth chamber, for the lack of a better word. What happens is, the way this will work is just like for the other setup we had over there. The dropper will drop the materials needed, so in this case for, like, say, the fluix, it's going to be the redstone, the nether quartz, and the charged Certus quartz, or the seeds for the pure stuff. It is really important to note that the seeds for the pure crystals don't despawn, so the regular items, if you let them lying around for a few minutes, they'll just poof go away. The seeds, the crystal seeds, do not, so you don't actually need to do any sort of overcomplicated setup to pick things up and then drop them back down and cycle until it gets done. You don't need to do that, it'll just slow stuff down. If you have a server on Cauldron like I do though, by default you might actually have a setting set up that will kill any items you have just floating around, but just regular forward single player, you're not going to run into that. Only if you get overzealous with cleaning up stuff. So anyway, we have the transfer node down here with filter, so it's pretty good. I don't need to do anything else to this except set up a return deposit little ME interface down here. I'm not worried about that at the moment. I'm not going to do that right now because I do need to actually do something a little bit more important than that, which is set up the logic to turn off the crystal growth accelerators when they're not in use, because I do not want that drain. To do that, though, I actually need to get a few items. Let's drop this off for now. I don't need you. I don't know why I have that. That was of no use. Just fill stuff in. Alright, what I do need, though, is I need the toggle bus. I need the crafting card, the level emitter, quartz fiber. Actually, I only need one quartz fiber, I think. Glass cover need not apply, and I do need these guys. That should be okay, and I need that. Now this will take up a little bit of space, unfortunately. The main drawback to this is for this to work the way that I would like to do, I need to have it set up so that if any of the 3 pure crystals are crafting, that all of these things are on. So it's not hard, it's going to take space. What we're going to do, we have this line over here that we started down, so what we're going to do, we're just going to go ahead and continue it down a little bit and bring it over to about right there. So that's good. Let's do it one more. Alright. The logic for this is actually fairly easy. We're going to go ahead and bring out a cable this way. Tell you what, I actually might need to go back a little bit further. Alright, so that's good. Use a wrench. Alright. And then what I'm going to do is have a little loop over here where this connects, but it's going to be connected through with the quartz fiber. And what that means is that it's only going to transmit power, not data. So it's a really easy way to make a subnet. Let's see, I'm getting ahead of myself. Level emitter, level, and level. Okay, good. So right now these guys default to on because they have nothing to monitor. There's nothing in the system. I'm going to go ahead and right click them, put in a crafting upgrade. So it's crafting emitter mode, and I want to have it emit redstone while item is crafting. And we want to tell it to emit when I'm crafting a pure fluix. These guys will update whenever the network refreshes, just not quite yet. And basically I'm going to do the same thing, except this is pure nether. Emit while item is crafting. And then the final for the Certus while crafting. Oop. Yeah, that's right. Okay, we're good. And just to show you, we'll go ahead and break this. As soon as I reattach this cable, it should hello, should? Yeah, those shouldn't be on right now. I don't know what's up with that, because it's not crafting. Anyway, moving on. Let's see, we'll loop around here. We will have the... This is the most awkward system you will ever see set up. You know what? I don't need to have it come down this far over here. I can save 2 pieces. 2. Alright, to this I add the toggle bus. Toggle, toggle, and toggle. And then the glass. And then again, these all get connected together, so it's kind of a mess of cables. But this setup right here ensures that whenever one of these is on, you will have power going through to the growth accelerators, which is good. And then we'll just come over here and connect everything up. Let's get rid of that. That should still work. What we are going to do, though, unfortunately, is poke a hole in the wall. Did I seriously get rid of my... I did, I'm an idiot. Alright, so I actually do need my pick. That would really help. Let's try this. This network tool can also be used as a wrench. There we go. That's better. Currently using nothing, so that's great. Alright, so that is the actual crystal growth accelerator logic. It's really easy stuff. I have no doubt you can make it a little bit more compact, but for what I want to do, that works out great. Next up, we have this guy here. We need to actually tell it how to make this stuff. I have some of these patterns ready to go. For now, we're just going to go ahead and put in where'd you go. We're going to put it in the patterns for the... Oh, not in there. For the crystals that we have for the fluix, and this is for the charge. Will not go in there, so we'll just put the fluix in there for now. Wrong box. Right box. Alright, so so you go in there. And then whenever the stuff comes in, it'll just go plop down to the bottom. Easy stuff. And what I need to do to this is actually connect. I'm not going to run this off the top branch. What we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and get another line of cable coming here. And to avoid connecting, we're going to go up like that. Alright. Later I can actually just get some dye and fix that. I say that a lot, I know. All of my items are currently locked in my AE system, which is, well, my ME system from AE, which is not accessible. Let's see, let's go ahead and right-click the network tool. Energy acceptor, the controllers, dense cables, glass cable, interface, level emitters, toggle bus. So that's good. And this is using 34 redstone flux per tick, roughly. And these are off. Awesome. Right now, this mess of cable right here is a subnetwork, and it's not actually going to be able to deposit anything to the ME network that I would like to use. So what we can do, we can put this down and then just run a cable down like that. That should connect. Yeah, that's on my big network. Okay, we got sand. Let's get that. Let's make the another quartz seed. We need some other, see, that was another. We need the Certus dust. I don't have any Certus dust. Wow. Okay, we'll skip that for now. I know I have Fluix dust. Alright, so we got that. Let's come back over here. Alright, so what I'm doing now is I'm setting up a device recipe, which is this one. And I'm going to tell it that a nether quartz seed can be crafted into a pure nether quartz crystal. It's 1-to-1. And I'm also going to go ahead and do this for the Fluix seed. So Fluix seed crafts into a pure Fluix crystal and code. Those recipes take place right here. I just need to get the stuff to do a Certus quartz crystal, but for that I need the Certus dust, which I don't have access to. Let's go ahead and put these in the system. Okay, so what we're going to do, let's come over here. Let's look up the pure crystals. I actually do have quite a bit in here, but we're going to tell it to make 2 of these guys. Start. Alright, I think it's working. It is, that's awesome. Alright, so the crystal growth accelerators are currently running since the system here thinks it is crafting these guys, which it is. Shows you right here. The one for the pure nether quartz is lit up. As soon as this stops and it gets sucked in here and ejected into the ME interface, it'll no longer be crafting. And that will then turn off, which will disengage the subnetwork. I'm honestly not terribly sure how long that'll take, but with 4 of the growth accelerators, it should not be overly long. This is really a rat's nest of cabling, isn't it? Alright, so good news. The Certus Quartz charger is set up. The way this works is there is actually a little ME interface on the back of this guy right here with a recipe that is set up to push Certus Quartz crystals into the charger, and I also put it to blocking mode, so it shouldn't push anything into the charger if there's no room. I don't know if it's needed, though I suspect it is. And on the very bottom of this is a simple import bus that is filtered to only pull out the charged crystals. At least it is going to be filtered to pull out only the charged crystals. There we go. So what happens is if I were to come over here and pull out the guys I got here so far, these guys come right here. I'm not worried too much about making too many of these because I believe I can substitute these back and forth, so it's not a loss. Let's go ahead and tell it to make 5. And what's going to happen is the crystals get ejected into the charger, and as soon as these tick over to being the fully charged ones, they'll get sucked out the bottom and then put back in the ME system, just like that. Works great. So we can move on now. We have the crystal growth stuff done. We have the charger done. The next big hurdle that I have is going to be the creation of the processors and stuff. And for that, that's going to take up a little bit of space. So we're taking those over to the far wall over here where I have this big hole. Before I can do that though, I actually need to make some more of the flux cable and stuff because I'm actually running really low. I'm running so low that I can pretty much say that I'm out. Yeah, I'm out. So I'm going to go ahead and take about 5-10 minutes to go get some stuff together and get that all ready to craft, and then I will be right back. Okay, we're back. I have 42 more of the flux cables. I might actually end up needing a little bit more, but for now this will be good. Alright, so what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and put this right over here, right in the corner. We're going to start. This is going to be the point where which the materials to create a processor enter the little subnet. We have the primary inscriber right here. This guy will take care of making the silicon presses. Where'd you go, silicon? Alright, so this guy will take in silicon and silicon only, which means what I'm going to do is take a storage bus here, put it down, and then I'm going to put down a storage bus on the side. The reason I'm doing this is that the storage bus here is going to get configured to only take silicon in, and this right here is going to expose the created imprint to the rest of the subnet. Let's put down a cable and then the other inscriber here. Okay, now this connection is actually going to be able to power this guy as soon as I actually have this thing linked together like so. Let's see, can we go ahead and right click? So far I've already got 3 channels used. So this is going to go fairly quickly. I definitely need to get some more of the bundled cable. We'll see how much of this I have left, and if I can, I will go ahead and make use of that to try to save some space. Though I believe, I'm not terribly sure, I believe if I do it this way, I actually need to set up a ME controller, which is why I left one spare over here. At the very least, using this regular stuff, I can set up a network that uses 16 channels rather than going for a full-on out. Look at me, oh my god, it's a huge one. And you know what? If I do it that way, let's see, we have 1, 2. This guy will go here, here, and then the very last one's right in the corner here. Alright, this is going to be calculation, which is the one made from the pure Certus. Let's see, engine logic, which is gold, and then diamond, which is the engineering. Alright. Now each of these is going to be set up pretty much the same way. It's going to have a storage bus on the back, and a storage bus on the side. Back, side, back, side. So that's easy. What I do need to do though is go ahead and connect that. I think I have this working right. So that just made a silicon press. It should come all the way over here. Good. This guy's not getting power though. Why are you not getting power? Let's see, that is because I don't need this here, I just need the cable here. There we go. So that made me an engineering processor. That's good. And the very last bit I need to get this to actually work right is to have it export that into the proper place for it to be received. The best way for me to do this that I know of is to get another ME terminal, another ME interface. I might actually have thought ahead and crafted an additional one, but no, I didn't. I used an extra one somewhere, I'm not quite sure where. I should have everything I need to make one though. There we go, easy stuff. Let's not put this here because I don't want those to connect. Alright. I'll have it exporting in that way. So that should not be part of this. These should each be on independent networks. That's by itself. That's by itself. Good. And what we'll do is we'll run a cable up there. And this is just before the break in the Quartz fiber here, so it is on the right network, so that's good. And to this, we want to tell this to go ahead and take the capacity card, and you are going to actively export the completed. So we need to take this guy out. I do need to make up one of each of these for this to work right. There we go. So are you still connected? No. Okay, good. Excellent. Let's have this guy pointing into that one. There we go. Okay, that'll just make sure that if this guy actively tries to push anything, it shouldn't really matter though. Okay, well, let's revert this. It doesn't matter. Okay, good. And this bit right here is in the corner. There's going to be blocks on it, so I can just run the cable there and nobody will ever know. This is so convoluted. Don't get me wrong, I love it, but it's convoluted. Alright. Okay, that's good. Let's do an export bus on there, another cable. Right click, we need to do the capacity. Let's get one of each of the processors in here. Processor, not the circuit. Okay, so that's good. So if I were to drop these guys in here, nothing is going to happen to these because this will only push from an inventory that is storing something. And since this is the ME interface, it's trying to put it to an inventory which it can't, so it's just going to sit there. However, if I were to actively go ahead and craft one of these guys up, let's go ahead and put in the materials needed to make another diamond one. So a single thing of redstone, a thing of silicon, and a thing of diamond. So the one on the very left should do its little chomp as well as the one on the, there we go. Whoop. And then we come all the way over here, this should be crafting. And then it should have gotten exported into here. It's engineering. Yeah, there we go. We got one. Excellent. Excellent. All right, so the only thing I really have to do now is I need to make these recipe things. Excellent. The only thing I think might be kind of bad is you can kind of see what's behind there, but I guess that's okay. And here we have the processor crafting. Completely convoluted, yet functional. I will take it. I will take it for sure. There is a limitation to this. I only have a certain number of slots here. If I were to go crazy and request a very large amount of items to do this, it would break. And I think I could fix that by coming over here and telling it to do not push if it contains items. I think. I'm honestly not too sure how that functions. I'm hoping it does what I think it does. But until then, I'm going to assume that it's not a bad idea to have. Oh, that's so awesome. Alright, let's go ahead and make one more of the Skystone brick ones. Perfect. Perfect indeed. There's only a little bit more I need to do to this. I need to go ahead and set up the crafting chamber again. Or is it the molecular assembler? I need to make a few more of these actually. They're not terrible, but it's just a little bit of busy work. For now though, I'm going to go ahead and call it because the main thing that I wanted to do was to get these three things set up. I want to go ahead and thank you for watching this episode of Bevo's Tech Pack, and if it was kind of me rambling around, fumbling, I'm sorry. However, I really do like this applied energistic stuff, even if it's a little bit convoluted at times. I think it's really neat. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave a message below. And as always, have a good day.